So I got another email from a man today. Uh, I'm not going to show you the entire email because it is quite long. There are a couple points in this email that I would like to address for all of the people that are obviously new here, like the person that wrote this email. I'm not going to say no heat or no judgment because this was a lot of words. This was well over 800 words for information that you could have had if you watched a couple more of my videos. What I would like to do is point out a couple of things on this channel that I think would be helpful to the larger audience of women and femmes that have to deal with iterations of this on a day-to-day basis. Okay, point number one, not necessarily in order, but in this very long email, the writer talks about how by me talking about men, I am inherently centering men, and that I am too smart to be centering men as somebody that talks about decentering men. So obviously I must be doing this for money. Now, do I get money from YouTube? Yes. Do I get enough money to center men? Nobody could pay me that much. A follow-up question. By talking about capitalism, does that mean that you center capitalism? As a non-white person, if you talk about how whiteness affects the day-to-day lives of other non-white people, are you centering whiteness? An ounce of critical thinking says no. In order to realize the problem, you have to look at the problem. You have to analyze the problem. You have to say what the problem is, and then you have to start talking about how that problem has reached into the deepest corners of your life, of your psyche, of the community that you are a part of, so that way you can identify the thing and start removing the thing. If you have a splinter and you never want to look at the splinter, call the splinter what it is, and then you're wondering why your entire hand, now arm, now body is infected, well then whose fault is that? Because I guess you didn't quote unquote center the splinter. Next thought, this person is a man who says that they have been hurt by men before, but they're like, clearly I know it's not all men. It's like a, it's like a summary of that. For the people that have to deal with men like this on a day-to-day basis, please remember that they are a part of the group. Yes, obviously men hurt other men. The patriarchy affects everybody. But when you are a part of the group that is also doing the hurting, you have to do something internal to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to stop being a man, so obviously it's not all men, so I don't know why people think that I am part of the problem, because like there's a level of that when you've been oppressed by the oppressed group and you are within the group. You have to do something to help yourself sleep at nights. Next up, there is, I'm assuming, an ongoing theory for people that have not been a part of this community for a while that assume that I only have terrible examples of men in my life, that I've only dated terrible men, that I've only been around the worst of the worst. I have said so many times on this channel, my dating history has been great. I have enjoyed all of the men that I've dated. We have all left on great terms. I wish them nothing but the best. Am I dating them? No, because just because you're a good person doesn't mean that you are the right person for me. But also because I have dated men that I have enjoyed, that have treated me well, that have respected me, that have truly, I can't say all of them have worshipped me, but some of them definitely have. I see the disparity and I go, yikes. And now that I am used to being treated like, dare I say, a demigoddess, when I was dating. I am not dating. I don't know when I will start dating because I objectively see what is around me. And no, thank you. And I have, at this point in my life, great male mentors. They are older than me. They are married, very happily married. I look at their relationships and I go, if I'm going to be in a long-term partnership with a man, it's going to look like that. They speak into my life. They are 100%. 100%. They see nothing wrong with what I say. I have even talked about them on this channel, but once again, men can't stop talking before they do any form of research. So they don't know that I've talked about these men extensively on this channel. They just start boogaing in my inbox. And finally, this person was talking about how I talk about how men, by and large and as a whole, really, really want women to be breeding, really want people with uteruses to be breeding. Do I stand behind that? Yes. Do I recognize that there are individual men out there that are, that don't want kids, that are child free? Yes, I've talked about them on this page. But once again, men don't do research before they start telling you about you, but they don't know you. Now, if I were to say that white people can't stop colonizing, is every white person going to take that immediately to heart and say, Shayna's talking about me? No. In this email, the amount of eyes that this person just continued to write, because he's like, well, I don't feel that way. Well, I'm different. That's great. That's cute. That's lovely. We're talking about bigger problems here. You feel exceptional. That's nice. That's not helpful for a larger conversation about societal growth. You and your feelings and your man booga feelings, that's all up in my inbox. Unhelpful for the progress of the whole. And there are men out there, as many of us realize, try to shame women for them being who they are, for them speaking boldly, for the men who feel the need to say things, not doing any form of research. There's a lot of men out there that just in your face often. We all have to deal with them in our families, in our workplaces, in our relationships. They're all over the place. And with that being said, I had my thought and I lost it. Ladies, femmes, anybody with a uterus, you do not have to engage. This is one of many an email that I get, arguably far too often. I don't respond to most of them. In fact, when it comes to emailing back and forth, I don't email back and forth. I don't feel the need to engage unless there is a larger conversation to be had, like this one. It is okay to not engage. It is okay to not respond. They don't need your energy. In fact, they absorb it. It's almost like a vampire, like esque situation. And they don't need you. You deserve to keep your energy. Hold on to your energy. Do something powerful with that energy. Have a conversation with people that want to hear you with that energy. People who want to learn will learn. And you cannot over explain things that have already been explained, or you don't even, let me rephrase. If you have explained things, you do not have to repeat the explanation. The information is out there, especially if you have worded it as clearly and concisely as you possibly can. You do not need to be everyone's savior. You do not need to be anyone's savior. You don't need to be anyone's hero. You are not the magical Negro black lady, the mammy that's gonna come in and wipe everybody's butts. You're not. There are men within this community that want to learn. There are men within this community that have done, in the very least, when I say their research on me, they've gone to my website, they've watched more than maybe 3 or 4 of my videos. I don't know how many this man has watched, but probably 1, maybe 2. I don't know. Once again, not my problem. People are allowed to create whatever image they have of you in their minds. You don't have to correct them. They're allowed to believe whatever it is that they want to believe. And all your job is to continue living 100% in your truth and authentically. Whether they see it or not is not your problem. And also, like I've said, I can't remember where the video is. As soon as I find, I'll put it up here. You don't have to make men feel comfortable. Them being uncomfortable sometimes equals your safety. You don't have to pat them on the back. You don't have to make sure that they feel a certain way about you so that way they sleep well at night. As long as you are safe, that is all that matters. Now, do I think that this person is going to try and find me in Thailand? No. I don't think that it's necessarily a physical safety thing, but in this case, it's an energetic safety. And I don't need to engage. All the information that they need from me is already. I said what I said. Ladies, you've said what you've said. You don't need to go any further than that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And please, for the love of God, stay safe out there.